Survey said.
We ready to rock and roll?
Let's give her.
Let's give her. So, no song today because Jesse actually did a really nice, I would say nice, I'm going to say nice version of a Johnny Cash track. You haven't heard of Jim, but you should. Take a listen to it. So we have Jesse Barbosa back on the show. Everybody will remember him from episode number 99. You were lucky enough to get 99.
The great one.
The great one.
The Wayne Gretzky episode.
And he's a youngin'. So Jim, 25 years old, man.
I know.
He's a kid. But he's hungry, and you'll learn a lot about Jesse. And Jesse, what are we going to talk about today, man?
Oh, everything, I guess. Framing part 2.
Framing part 2. And there is a lot of framing talk going on these days because we know right off the bat, lumber packages have doubled, quadrupled, or they just keep on going up.
While the quality's gone down.
Yeah. It's insane. So right off the bat, I want to actually start off with, okay, so first of all, Jesse Barbosa Carpentry on IG. And then I've got Jim, the gentleman on the end of the table there. And it's Jim Carrick on IG and also Carrick Hall on IG.
Yep.
Carrick Hall Construction on IG. Is that right? I think it is.
Yeah.
I'll double check. It'd be easy to find. If you start typing in CARUK, you'll find Carrick Hall.
There you go.
But I want to do, okay, quickly, a little history, guys. I want to do a little history. Can you guys tell me?
Oh, here we go.
You're going to like this one. When was the van invented and by whom?
Volkswagen and I'm thinking hippie vans.
Not Volkswagen.
Ford.
Oh, no, we're going further back, guys.
Like milk vans.
Ford?
No. Mercedes. 1896 was the very first van.
1896?
It was dubbed the combination delivery vehicle. 1896.
How was it driven?
It was steam, I think it was. It was wagon wheel. It was a big wooden box on top of it. That's what it was, right? Then it became the express van in 1929. And that looked more like a vehicle, like the classic vehicle. And then we get into 1956 where it starts to look like a van. And that was the 319. And that was kind of like that Volkswagen where you're over the front wheel. That's what it is. 1967 was the first version of a work van kind of thing. 77 was the official launch of, what's it called here? The TN. The TN and the TI.
But this is all Mercedes.
All Mercedes, but they're the ones that first launched all these increments of vans, right? It wasn't until 95 that you started getting the first version of the Sprinter. 95. And then 2006 that's when they first came to America. Everything's
2006?
Yeah.
Those are the ones you see now.
What year is
on the
yours?
highway that are
Mine's a
rust.
2015. So mine would be the second
Looks
generation.
like a 2006.
It looks the same. It looks the same. It only was redesigned in 2018, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was redesigned to what you see right now. That's the history of a van.
They fixed the rust issues with the 2018.
They got rid of the Chrysler part of it, and then
I remember 1973.
Econoline, the old school ones.
Yeah, we had that in high school. My buddy did.
What color?
Horrible, kind of a yellowish.
A yellow.
Oh, it's brutal.
A yellow, man. Well, I guess
I
it
think
would
he
hide
paid
the rust.
$500 for it back then.
So we got a bunch more little housekeeping I want to take care of here. First off, right off the bat, Jim, lots of guys are talking to us about the roundtable.
Yeah.
We want to make this happen. I know, Jesse, you got wind of this as well, too. So we definitely are working on this. We're planning on this. We're trying to figure out how to do it with COVID and everything like that. So, guys, we ask that you pay attention to what's going on in the podcast
Yeah, just
here.
have patience, right? I mean, the whole COVID thing's throwing a wrench in everything, right?
We got to figure it out. We will figure it out. We're going to keep it intimate. We're going to keep it small groups. It's not going to be a one-off. It will be like a few times during the course of the year.
I think, it should be.
That's what we want to do. And the whole objective is to continue the conversation that we have on this show. That's all it is. Yeah. How guys reach out to us, and we want to thank you guys. We want to thank you for all the DMs, reaching out to Jim, reaching out to myself. We want to thank everybody that's connecting to other people that have been on the show, and they're reaching out saying, I heard you on the show, and I really liked what you had to say about this and that.
And I think you should mention...
Oh, that's what I got. I got a bunch of lists here, right? So all of a sudden, I want to do some special shout-outs to Mike from @Staller_Studios. So he was bringing up the shop classes. He actually is a shop class graduate, and he went through that whole circle, and he says that there's still some schools that are still doing it. Reese from BTL Contracting, @BTL Contracting, built to last contractor, and he loved the small business show about COVID. We had a lot of great things to say about this, so we want to just say hello to these guys. Kevin Diaz out of Houston, Texas, listens to us on YouTube and loves it.
Awesome.
Loves it. And then we've got at DJ Reynolds LTD out of the UK, Cambridge. So he listens to us and he loves the conversations and he finds that it's all relevant over there in the UK, which is great. We love hearing that. Then we got Patrick from at Builders, BLDERS.ca. So he's a huge fan and recently listened to the one that we did last week with Mark. The 122, and he loved talking about the whole stigmas and trying to change how the construction industry is portrayed. And then this morning, I sent you that message, Jim, where Andrew from at DARRAGH_design_IMO, and he's from the Isle of Man.
Wow.
So we got people
That's
listening to us
insane.
all over the place, and we want to do a huge thank you to everybody that's listening to us, which is great. They love the conversations that we're having.
And we got Joe.
Joe.
Who I've been, Joe Rosselli from
and we're going to
Napa
get Joe.
Valley.
And I've already reached out to all these guys saying, listen, we're going to start speaking to you guys. We want to start having you guys phone us in, and we're going to start doing the conversations with you guys from outside of Canada.
Yeah,
Or other parts of Ontario, right? Outside
Yeah.
of Canada. Thank you. And then if you guys got any questions that you want to come on the show, please DM Jim, DM myself, email me at info@theconstructionlife.com. What is your email? You want to give up an email, Jim, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think if it goes through you, it's probably easier.
Just go through. So info at
'Cause I get about 200 emails a day, and
exactly.
I can't even keep
So
up.
I'll deal with it, right? So reach out to us, and then we'll get talking. But now let's get back into Jesse. Let's get back into framing.
Yep.
The wonderful world of framing.
What do you want to poke at right off the bat?
Oh God, there's so much right now. You wanted to do lumber, so let's talk.
But first of all, we brought it up earlier. Hats off to Jesse, 25 years old, in this business, running his own company. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's
Thank you
awesome.
very much,
It's,
guys.
it's,
That's
it's, as when we had Mark here too. I mean, here these guys are young, and it's
But
nice to see. Like, it's
hats
really
off
nice
to the
see.
to the drive.
To the drive,
Because
exactly.
Jesse, you could, if you wanted to, you could be production. You could
be.
just go in, just swing the hammer, and get out.
I'm not gonna lie that when changes happen and people can't make up their minds, and I'm renovating a new house, the thought does cross my mind.
It's true. Like yeah.
We all
I
have those
understand.
days, man.
I
Yeah,
understand.
those days happen. But
So many times I've wondered if somebody offers me a job, I'm just going to go. I'll show up at 7:30 and I'll go home at 4:30. Thank you very much.
I had that happen. I was offered a lead position for a rival framing company, and I thought long and hard about it, and I said no, and it's been smooth sailing since.
That was a good choice.
Look, man, you're
Almost.
going to have your ups and downs, and I mean that's just part of running in your own business. But I think the rewards at the end, when you look back, are it's far superior than than if you're
Yeah.
ever working with somebody. And don't get me wrong, like working for somebody, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're with a good crew or a good company, you still have the benefits. You still have have fun. It's all about the team, right? At the end of the day, you want to show up. You want to have fun, even though it's just a stressful
Well,
job.
it's
but
extremely
you want
stressful.
to. And so when I say fun, you want to enjoy what you do. Right?
Yeah, it has to go past the money. If you're only money driven, then you won't have the drive to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to bed at 11.
So you're
if
not going to be successful either.
If you're
No.
money driven, should you stay the production route?
Probably, because on the last show with Mark, you guys talked like capping out, like what's that wage? Like when you run a business, let's say you want to make $100,000, right? Let's say this year I want to make $100,000. Running a business, that means I need to produce $400,000, right? You have to be really okay with spending money and seeing like the long-term benefits of spending money, like payroll every week and all.
Do you
this.
believe in the cap?
No,
You don't believe in the cap, eh?
not really. I mean, I'm still new enough to this. I haven't had that. Like I ask older guys, like, what was that 1 year where you like just absolutely killed it? Like I haven't really had that yet, and I'm still growing and building, but I don't see there being a cap. I think the only thing that would create a cap if you're a business owner is the available manpower.
True.
Like the labor force.
That's what I said. I said that there's a cap, but you have the freedom to expand. And if you expand
Yeah.
properly, then you could have two crews. Like I know when you were on the show last, you talked about that second crew.
Yeah.
And if you want to give Jim a little recap on your team, because your team is young, you only have one other guy that's slightly older than you, right?
Yeah, well, the oldest on the crew is 33.
That's his
Crazy.
crew.
It's crazy. That's awesome.
That's awesome to hear that.
That's because this is the up and coming, right? This
Yeah.
is who's
Yeah.
going to replace us, and it's nice to see because you're already getting the experience. I'm not going to say you're totally 100% experienced, but you're getting there, right? Another few years, you guys are going to be there.
Well, the best part about like going the custom route versus the production route of framing is every house is different.
Yeah.
Right? Like some have crazy rounds and witches hats, and there's days where you scratch your head, or you bring homework home and you're figuring out, oh, how am I going to build this? And then you get to go do it, and once you've done it, it makes it the second time easier.
Exactly.
It's always the case.
It's always,
Right?
yeah.
It's always
Just to
the
go
case.
back a little bit too, when you're talking about you want to make $100,000 a year, and then you got this expense and this expense, and in what you have to be okay with. I've noticed that sometimes I have to be okay with. Sure, I'd like to make $100,000 a year, but your guys are making maybe 80,
Yep.
90, and you made 40,
Yeah.
and you have to be okay with that.
It digs at you.
It digs at you, but the upside is coming, right?
Yes.
And you just got to keep that ahead of you, and know it is coming.
Always.
Let's talk about the numbers, because the thing is, I agree with you. I know that Jesse and everybody else at Subtrades, you guys come up with your numbers. So you calculate your overhead. You put it all together, and then you present your number to the GC, to the client, or to whoever. I think there's two ways of calculating this. You get the tradesperson who's calculating it, that's money driven, and you got the tradesperson that's calculating to have longevity and build a brand and build a reputation. And that, like you just said, you may have to pull back a little bit. Your guys will make the money, and you may not make as much as you were hoping on this one, but the pay it forward as a result of doing this job to the level that you want to do will pay you forward on the next job and the next job.
Well,
and so on.
it guarantees more work.
Yes.
Right.
And that's how
And-
you
and- yeah,
defy
right.
the cap.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Just don't get greedy,
That's the number one
because
thing.
it will go. It will take a little bit of time, but once, let's face it, this is a small industry.
Yeah.
Everybody talks, so hey, look at Jesse's price, look at this guy's price, okay, well, I'm going to try Jess. And then you just stay at a constant number, because then I know where your head's at, square footage, everything
Yeah.
else. Yeah, if there's a little extra here and there, we understand that. But once I work with you and I understand where you're going to come in, and you're not all over the place, it's an easy give, right?
Isn't
for
that
you,
our
right?
jobs as GCs, where we build those relationships, where we already work with Jesse one time and all of a sudden we see the numbers come in, so we know that if we've got another job that might be similar but different, we'll have a rough idea where your number is going to come in?
Framing wise, money is made and lost in the roof.
100%.
Always.
I think it doesn't take, unless you're getting into like round details and stuff, but it doesn't really take a lot to get a house to the roof.
Right.
But once you get to the roof, that's when a guy like me, we're either going to do really well on a job, or we're going to do terrible on a job.
You make it sound like framing is a stock market.
Well, you know what?
It really is.
I agree. It is, because he's coming in at a number, and he's got to do it for that number.
Yeah.
No,
can't
unless
go back.
unless I throw some, throw in 2 extra dormers or something like that, then you know what? Then it's a legit extra. But if he's going off the drawings, he's made the number. We've given the number to the client.
Yeah.
He's stuck with that number.
Yeah.
I mean, and how many times, starting out that I've given a number,
You
and
give the wrong number.
and I gave the wrong number.
Yeah, but there's those few times that you gave the right number. And
Well,
you
there's a
actually-
few times I gave the right number. Yeah.
and you did all right. I like that feeling.
First house I ever did when I actually had a crew, at the end of the job, you kind of do your little, what did I make per hour on this job? I made $17 an hour.
And it hurts.
And it hurts.
And it hurts, man. I know.
Bills still got paid. There was enough money put away. Like everything was fine. Didn't bankrupt myself after the first job, but you kind of learn.
Geez,
Right?
after the hours I put in on price and jobs, I'll come and work for you for $17 an hour.
Yeah, there are those losses, man. So let's get right into lumber. How is, we all know the lumber packages. I know that you got a quote here, Jim.
Yeah.
Like, 2 years ago, it was one number, and recently
It's pretty much doubled within a year.
we're talking anywhere from, if your lumber package was 70K, it's turned into 130K kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you finding that, Jesse, with clients? Are they coming back at you, or GC's coming back at you going, listen, you need to drop your labor? So,
I've been asked that once.
curious how you handled that.
I didn't do the job.
You walked away from it.
Walked away.
Better.
It's more for, I just know it's just like you said, once you're locked into a price and you plan for that, right? Everything, that's what it's got to be, right? I start figuring out my own manpower, who's going to be where. Oh, I got to get the forklift there. Okay, I got to get all this. And then when someone comes back to me, once a contract's been signed and said, hey, so like my lumber went up, like I need to take that from you. Rona still gets paid, or whoever their lumber supplier is. They
still get the money.
They still make their
But
money.
you're hired for labor. That's it. That should not be your problem, man.
I've fronted money for a lumber package once, and I'll never do it again.
No.
Why would you do that?
Why?
To get the job.
To get the job.
To get the job.
Right? And I don't know, like, everyone told me, like, oh, you got to put a percentage on it. Like, how?
You can't.
How? Oh, hey, Rona, can you make this $5,000 more so I can make some money? Like, it doesn't work like that. So, no, it wasn't worth it. Won't do it again.
And you shouldn't have to. I mean,
No.
your trade, you show up, you build the place. We
Yeah.
give you the material, right? That's crazy, yeah.
It's nice to see those stacks of lumber get turned into a house.
It's amazing to see all those stacks, but I could still see the point of view of the homeowner. I don't justify it though, because it is what it is. The market is demanding. This is what the softwood industry is charging. This is what, it's not that we're making points on it. We're not. Nobody's making points on it. The only people that are making points are the actual suppliers.
Yep.
So why is it fair that a homeowner can ask that question? But that's relevant to everything that comes into
So what question?
the question of, we're taking a huge hit on this material line item. Can you possibly discount your labor line item?
They can ask the question, but you don't have to. I mean, the response is, I'm the labor. I'm the one that's going to build.
It's almost not
your
relevant.
House, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what does that have to do
What's
with me?
that worth to you?
Yeah, don't beat me up just because they don't have enough trees right now to get your lumber. I mean, you will get asked. I mean, we all will, and it will continue that way for as long as this industry's around. But that's just human, just how we work. But
How detailed do you get, Jesse, on when you're submitting a quote? Does the client or the GC actually notice that you've actually taken the time and the effort to actually break this down? Like, this is your number. Like we've talked about this before, Jim, where I've gotten to this number. This is my number. There's no room here. I can't all of a sudden take off $10,000 like that.
Right.
So this is my number. So how detailed do you get for them?
I'd like to say from a labor perspective, pretty detailed.
Okay.
I know that when I send, like every time I send a quote, there's a copy of my contract with it. There's a scope of work of what I'd like to do. And then obviously, like sometimes when I get sent drawings, there's no mechanical drawing with it. So I'll say things like, back framing and any boxing and all that, I can't really see it. I'd be happy to take care of that for you. But until I see it, I can't include that in this price. I make sure there's very, very little gray area, especially with a lot of the steel in the houses. I'll set the steel install as a separate line item. The basement framing is a separate line item, and kind of then just
you
get a
include
total
basement
number.
framing.
I think you should.
I think so.
Personally,
Yeah.
I think
Even if they're not finishing the basement?
You know what? I mean, this is my.
That's the first cutting block, right? Homeowners will go, we're not going to do the basement right now. We don't have the money for it.
but then
Right,
they
but it
always
still
want to.
needs to be.
It still needs to be framed.
As far as I'm concerned, it still needs to be framed, even if it's the outside walls,
Yeah.
just so you can put the insulation up. When I get a quote from framers, it bothers me that
They don't include
the
it.
basement's always, it's an extra. Well, it's still part of the house. It's
Well-
something that we have to do.
Yeah.
We have to insulate it as per code. You don't have to put drywall on or anything else, but it still needs to be framed. So even if it's a separate line item and have a number for it, I mean,
Well,
we have to do it. So if
Yeah.
you don't give me a number, then I'm going to make
Well, you
one
already
up.
know the client's going to come back at you going, listen,
Right.
we're doing pretty good on the budget, so can we move
Right.
forward on the full-blown basement now?
Right.
And then
Right.
at that point,
Yeah.
so you already factored in. You already.
Well, yeah, like it's like whether it's a separate line item or not, if someone's going to do your basement, it's going to get worked in somewhere.
Somehow.
It's just better for me to say, hey, this is what framing your basement's going to cost. It makes life simpler for everyone. And then, especially with builders and stuff, you know, usually by the time we're done a house, the slab isn't poured on, I'd say 90% of houses.
Yeah.
So it gives me a chance to then go start another house. Oh, we get a rain day. Hey, Jim, slab's in? Okay, we're going to come frame the basement. Right? Like,
Perfect. Yeah, that's the way it works.
The number one thing is like zero downtime. It can't be any downtime. You can't call a guy on a rain day and say, hey, sorry, you can't make your
You've
money
already
today.
anticipated that.
Yeah, right. So saving stuff like the basements, the back framing, as long as there's some leeway with the client or the builder, whoever, that like it's going to kind of get done to my schedule sometimes, then I don't see why people wouldn't be including that.
We like to do it that way. I mean, I like to get the roof on, at least get it,
Yeah.
something on the roof,
Protection.
protection of some kind, and then we'll pour. Because I don't want
Yeah.
water dripping on the freshly poured concrete,
Yeah.
right?
The worst thing, though, if there's no big windows in the front of the house, the guys pouring the slab just cut a hole in the subfloor right at the front door every time. That irks me.
Always.
Always.
And they do it really neat with a multi-tool,
No,
right?
they hack that fucking piece of
So
plywood.
we do it. So I usually just ask the guys to cut a hatch because I know what's coming.
Yeah.
Just do a nice cut. Don't glue this part yet, and then we'll screw the shit out of it.
Oh, they do.
Why do they do that? Why do they just
It's
butcher
easy,
it,
man.
Yeah,
man?
like the worst is going back to back frame and you look and you go, this is what plumbers, electricians, and HVAC do to our work.
Not all of them. We don't want to yell at all of them, but yeah, we know that they
but
hack it.
To be fair, the whole time they're hacking it, they're probably cursing, going, "Oh, fucking framer! Why do you put
In the way.
blocks in
In
every
the way.
fucking
In the
wall?"
way.
Like, so
I know.
that's the best thing about being the framer. I only get to blame the concrete guy. Everyone else gets to blame me.
I'm assuming these days, Jesse, you're working 6 days?
Yeah, it's pretty steady, 6 days a week.
You got your crew going on right now this morning on a Saturday morning, and
Yeah.
and so you're 6 days, huh?
Pretty much. I'm very blessed that in the dead of winter and the guys like,
And the weather's been good, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
It's been
this
dry.
is really the first real cold day, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
today is the first morning, but again, they're inside. Today's Saturdays are for back framing or basements or stuff like that, and they like the overtime. So why keep them from working?
Overtime. Do you pay them overtime?
I can't disclose that information.
They might be listening.
So I'll take
answer-
that as a no.
The answer is yes.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, good for
Yeah,
you, man.
we are. I'd like to think as legit as they come. Everyone who works for me is an employee on payroll. Their taxes are covered. They get a pay stub every week. There's no. Everyone on the crew is their own individual subcontractor, because the only person that would benefit is really me.
Yep.
Right? As an hourly employee, you don't really make enough or have enough write-offs or tool purchases or nail purchases to make setting yourself up as your own company worth it.
Right.
I did it. When I came up, my boss asked me to be a subcontractor. I signed up for it willingly. By the time, like, now I'm responsible to pay an accountant to do sole proprietorship taxes, and it's just not worth it for anyone. And it has been a thorn in my side trying to find guys, because when someone calls, the first thing they ask, cash?
Yeah.
And I go no.
Is that like honestly like 9 times out of 10 it's cash? How often is it?
I'd say like half of the people who'd call
That
me
call.
like looking for work ask if I can do all cash, and then I have to tell them. A lot of guys will say, yeah, I'm on EI right now, like, can you give me cash on top?
That's the problem with COVID right now.
Yeah, and the
It's
real
too attractive to.
the thing that pisses me off about that is I'm a legitimate business. I pay my taxes. I pay my corporate taxes. I do all that. So why would I bring someone on my crew that cheats the system that I
It's
pay
a red
into,
flag. That's
right?
the
It's-
issue.
It's a character thing, right? So I actually feel stupid about this now, but when COVID first hit and the government did the up to a $40,000 loan
Yeah.
and 10,000 of it was a grant,
Yeah.
I didn't take it. I should have.
You could.
I didn't want to feel like I was being given a handout.
Yeah.
And then I told that to other people, and they're like, "Are you fucking stupid? That's free money."
It's not free money.
It's not free money. Yeah, I can tell you that. Somebody's paying it back.
No, yeah, like you
And
have
it's you and me.
Yeah, it was interest free or whatever, but I didn't want to feel like I was being given a handout. My business was good. We didn't slow down, so why cheat the system? There's no need for that.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
that's awesome.
But with finding guys, it bites me.
That's funny. He says that because when I was in the trade way back, I got laid off for the first time, and it was like, I hadn't been laid. I never got laid off when I was an apprentice, and then I was journeyman, and then got laid off, I guess, early '80s for a little bit, and I could not walk into the unemployment office and ask for the money.
I never have in my life.
I couldn't do it.
No,
and I didn't. And I just said, "Look, I can't. No, I'm not doing this." Because it made me feel just like you said, like, who am I? Yeah. So I just went out and just found my own stuff, and that's how I started my own business.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Just doing little shit on the side, right?
Again, maybe in hindsight it was stupid. Maybe could have bought myself a new forklift or something. But I hate debt with a passion.
Yeah.
Like just
you're rare. You're 25 years old, man.
Yeah.
It's because I learned. That's why I've been in debt, and now is never like buying a house is going to be the hardest thing for me. I don't know how I'm going to sleep with that much overhead.
Think that one out because the debt, the way the market is going, and hopefully it'll stay. You're always going to make
it's
5 to 6% on your house.
Yeah,
so it's really
debt,
not
right. It's healthy debt.
It's healthy debt. Yeah. It's the only way you're ever gonna
But there's ways
ahead.
around it. You can start planning your business to get around that approval process to purchase the house, right?
I'm trying to learn about that. Ideally, like every other tradesman, I think I'd like to build my own.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the cash thing for a minute. I mean, I've talked about it for years and years and years. And why does it exist? Well,
It's too easy, man.
no, but why does a client? The first question they say, will you do?
Well, here in Ontario, 13%.
13%.
$100,000 rental.
When I was back, 80s, whatever. There was no cash. Nobody asked us to do cash deals.
But it wasn't until the harmonization,
Even the 5% was okay.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. As soon as they did the 13 and they harmonized it,
that's when
the shit hit the fan.
And that's when you so basically,
how can you blame
the
anyone?
government actually made the cash underground economy.
They did. 100%.
That's unfortunate. They did, though.
Think about it. Let's just say you make $150,000 a year. You're going to pay $60,000 of that in tax.
Yeah.
So now I got 90. Now you're going to build your house. There goes another 13% of that 90.
And you can't even use any of that
taxed
13 as a difference on your income tax.
Right. Then there's buying a car. You got car tax or tire tax.
We all pay it.
Everything.
We all pay it.
Fuel tax.
Everything.
Yeah.
And you go buy food. Tax.
But
So
it's
that
funny.
150 is worth what? 50 grand? 60
Possibly.
grand?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So you can't blame somebody that comes up and says, can I save some money?
Yeah.
Somewhere in Europe, and I can't remember where, maybe I got my facts wrong, but this is what I heard, that they had the harmonized tax. They took it back, got rid of it, and the country actually flourished with tax money. They made more. The country made more money
Because people didn't do cash.
And
And
they
they were contributing to the economical society.
They went and spent more because now they have
More money.
more money. So they still spent, but it's a mindset. You're not getting shit kicked out of you with a tax all the time.
As a client, $1 million project, $130,000
Hand it over.
Yeah.
collected. I've always liked that sign in one of my favorite roti shops in Toronto that closed down. They always had a sign up going, "Listen, we don't keep the tax, we collect it." I know.
The $1 million project and the 130 in tax. That's really 260
Yeah.
because it's after tax money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking money.
It's a huge amount of money.
Pardon my French.
No, it's a-
Pardon
no,
my
it's a-
Ukrainian.
And that's how and you're right. So then the cash economy grew. But you don't go back and you go, listen, I want to buy a forklift. Can I do it for cash?
Yeah, no one would let me.
Nobody's going to do that.
And
You go buy a new pickup truck. Can I do it for cash? No.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to do that. So, but why is it that and this is one of the stigmas too, is like every client, every GC or everybody will go to sub-trades and people, can you do half for cash and half for books?
I would say pretty much every job I do, the half cash thing is offered to me.
Always.
Pretty, I'd say pretty well every job.
Do you think that would disappear if we did go back to the way the
5%?
tax,
Yep.
it would go back, eh?
I'm not old
A
enough.
lot of it.
That's right. You actually were born into this.
I only know HST. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were
I
born
mean,
into this.
I think it would. A lot of it would disappear.
I think it would too.
And and back in the day when we had the round tables and all that, and we'd have the home builders come out and oh, we got to combat this, combat that, combat the underground. How the fuck do you do it? This is how you do it.
can't.
Get rid of the goddamn tax. You create, not the association created it, but the government created it.
Could you imagine how many more clients would actually pull the trigger and do more rentals if you actually got rid of the tax and gave them a break?
Right. It's just in the head. Yeah.
It's $1 million.
You're still gonna pay.
You're right.
it.
It's not 130. It's 260. So that's in their head. 260 right there. I can't have specific things in my rental because I have to pay this extra amount of tax.
Yeah.
Get rid of it or give more incentives, and all of a sudden, everybody's going to
Just go back to 5% GST.
That's it.
Period. Done.
Would that be nice for you, Jesse?
Yeah, but it's never gonna happen.
No, you can't say it's never going to happen.
Well, you know
the-
what? When it first came in, they said that it was only here for a few years.
I remember that.
Listen,
Right.
dude. Speaking of COVID lockdowns, you remember when a year ago, and they said,
Oh, I know.
in 2 weeks this will all
I
be
know.
over.
And all the memes that are going out there right now.
Yeah.
And
You actually meant 2 years.
yeah, like the
He was talking about cat and dog ears.
yeah.
That's what it was.
Once the government gets that money, they're not gonna let go of it.
That's
so
the sad
there's no
thing.
point in trying to. I just roll with the punches.
then don't complain about the underground.
Yeah,
It is. There it is.
There it is.
and it's always
You don't
going
want
to
to do
be
anything
there.
about
and,
it. Yeah.
Like, thankfully, I've been doing okay, like saying no as much as I can to that kind of stuff. And
You're not the only trade. I hear it from
No,
I hear it from lots of other trades that half thing is
it's pretty much every.
it's common.
almost every job, because they go, oh, that gives you enough to show, and then that, but then. Like, I got guys on the crew who are trying to save to buy a house. I'm personally trying to save to buy a house. I want everyone in my circle to show as much as they can to make sure that that's good. Like, admittedly, I'm very hard on my new guys. But
As you should be.
But once you make it on my crew and that trust builds, like, I will take a bullet for you. So I don't want any of my guys, because again, they ask for cash occasionally. Like, oh, hey, like, could we do a cash job? And but it doesn't help them really
in the long term.
in the long term.
And it actually penalizes you and your business if CRA, Canadian Revenue Association, actually finds out.
Yeah.
It will hurt you as the business owner.
Yeah. The thing with small business is the only one who ever really gets hurt
benefit.
is me.
Right.
It's me, right? Like,
We have the target.
yeah, like for example, on one of our builds going on right now, we were halfway through sheeting the subfloor, the first subfloor, 3/4 T&G standard subfloor. Homeowner comes and goes, no, I want to use Durastrand. I don't want to use this. I want to use the better OSB. Okay, sure. Rip out all the screws, rip up the subfloor. Somehow he got it delivered same day, so my floor still got sheeted, thankfully. But
That's that's 7/8 of an inch, right? It's
yeah,
almost 1
oh,
inch.
she's heavy.
Yeah.
But so I didn't charge an extra labor cost for the switch, whatever, subfloor. But I told him, like, the time it's going to take me to get back to this point is going to cost you money. Like, my guys get paid. I have to do that. He's still fighting me on it, admittedly.
But the work's been performed.
Yeah, I'm ready for the roof now.
Yeah.
And I don't have it in me to just pull off a site. Maybe
What's it
that's-
worth to you?
Maybe that's my problem, right? But in a situation like that, Rona got paid because they can't send back the T&G that got used. They made money on the switch to the more expensive subfloor material. All my employees got paid for their time on site that day. The only one who didn't get paid for any of that was me.
You. And which is always the case.
Which
though.
is always and it's the same thing.
And what do? You're going to transfer it over to your guys? You can't do that.
I can't. That's
So is this the
that's
homeowner or the
unethical.
builder that's doing this?
This was the homeowner. The builder was literally, and when I had my preliminary meeting for this build, I had mentioned that since we're building in the winter and you get ice buildup and all that, maybe switching to a better subfloor would be a good idea. Obviously, like I don't pay for it. I don't really care about the cost. I said, hey, this is something you might want to think about. And it just so happened that the day I'm ready to put on my subfloor
Switches.
is he woke up that morning and went, fuck, that's a good idea. And then came to site.
But it's like Jim said, what's it worth to you, right? Like, the cost that's associated to the...
Yeah, honestly, it gets to a point where like fighting over like $1,200 or whatever, it's just not worth my stress at
that point.
Like, why? Like,
But you're eating the $1,200.
yeah, like yeah, it's just,
But that's
it's
not
not
fair
really
either, right?
It's
That's not fair because
I mean, you know, and
that's
it's-
maintenance on your vehicle for the year,
yeah,
for
like
argument's sake,
there
right?
there is a thing there, and like there's other extras that have come up in the house that have been paid for and all that. It's just
It's a balancing
It's a
act.
matter of what is it really worth me fighting this guy, and then
Ruin the relationship.
like yeah, at the end of the day, again, like it's a builder I want to work for. The homeowner is
One of.
like he's a good guy.
So you got to think long term. You got to think the
long-term,
benefit.
right? I don't want anyone to go, oh, Barbosa Carpentry griped every day over a minor thing on a $90,000 contract. Like there's still money to be made.
But do you
I'm
also
happy.
think that some of the trades don't want to feel as if they're pushovers too?
Yeah.
Like they want to stand their ground going, listen, I'm delivering quality, you
Yeah.
hired quality, I'm building quality, I deserve to be paid.
Well,
But I think that's what Jesse just said. Right?
Yeah,
Like he got
like-
paid for a bunch of other extras.
So you balanced it.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
it, like because when you do extras, it's all hourly, right? So
Yeah.
like there is still money to be made there. So it's, let's just say I broke even on it at the end of the day, and it's not really worth the.
You're still getting your
the
contract
stress.
value.
Yeah,
and
like
everything
it's
else, so.
yeah, it's like if say like Jim comes up to me one day on a future build or something, and he goes, they'd like a barrel dormer instead of a shed dormer. Is that something that can be done? Yes, it takes a couple hours longer to frame. It's a little more math. It's so minor and minuscule. Probably not worth it to even go, oh, it's gonna cost you extra, and just be a dick about it.
Yeah.
Like it.
I do the same thing. You just balance it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's life.
It's totally a give and take, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys thinking that clients are too savvy for their own good these days? Are they getting information about every new possible
Well,
product?
they do get information, but is it the right information?
Because I know that the cool thing to talk about now is passive building and building envelope and which product is better or how it works. But all those ways of building are really, they work if they're installed correctly.
Right.
Yeah, it has to be. This is where the framer of the future has got to be much smarter.
All right.
I love that, the framer of the future.
It is. And this is, that's what we were talking about earlier is that, if this other guy can't do that I want, the quasi net zero ready, then it's not going to work. It's good that Jesse and guys at his age that are in this business, this is what they think now. They think building envelope. And that's the way we got to think, right? I mean, it took me a while to
wrap your head around.
wrap my head around it, but after I did my own house and saw what it was and how it worked, and I got a 3,800 square foot house, my gas bill with a pool, all gas appliances, 2,000 square foot in the basement, 14 months, $1,100 for a gas bill.
That's it. And you got
But
a
it's all
pool.
because of the way this thing was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And so even something as simple as like Tyvek, when done properly, it works. But then when you drive by
It's
the
flapping
site
in the
where it's
wind.
blowing in the wind,
And even
like,
Christopher Columbus would shake his head at that sale,
yeah,
right?
like it's it even and like yeah, something is like on the low end is just like properly detailing your Tyvek. You don't have to spend the extra 15 grand on crazy like membranes and anything like that and these tapes that are expensive to get the benefit. Even like the R5 on the outside, right? Like that is fantastic. And what it does for your house is incredibly beneficial. It's not that much labor cost extra. And then the material cost obviously fluctuates, but in long term, it's good. And it comes from probably like a creator mindset versus an investor mindset, whereas someone who bought property to build on to sell, they're not going to care about that. No. They're very, very rare.
Numbers driven.
Like, yeah.
In, out.
Because why that extra, let's say, I don't know, 10 grand it's going to cost to insulate your house on the exterior, material, labor, all that, do it detailed, do it properly. They don't care because they're not going to live there. Why do I care what the gas bill is?
Yeah,
right.
It's true.
But
that's piecework.
I just remember we had Rob on that place we finished.
Yeah.
I asked him, just the other day. I said, Rob, we're into the winter now. A few months.
How does it feel?
What's your gas bill like? He goes, I don't even know if it was $60, $70 yet. I go, are you kidding me? He goes, this house.
That was his monthly bill? Yeah. Oh, wow.
It works when it's done properly.
Yeah. And then from so obviously the majority of framing in Ontario is all stick built, tilt up the walls and all that. So a framer doing that while all the walls are on the ground is much easier than either a guy going up and doing it off a ladder.
Dangerous.
And it's a hell of a lot cheaper than setting up scaffold around your house and doing it then.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you really have to do is you just got to put it where the rim board is. You have to get on a ladder.
Yeah.
It's not that high.
That's easier to do than having to do the entire...
Right.
Yeah, and we worked a way around that, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah, good.
I can't reveal my
secrets,
good.
man.
No, that's good.
But yeah, I find it interesting that they do bring in a lot of information, like that client just showing up with different sheathing last minute, and all of a sudden, can you do this? Can you do that? Right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm still the guy that got it done.
Sorry, I had lost my train of thought.
Yeah, we were going to talk lumber prices. So
let's talk about it. I know that 2x4s got as high as almost $8 last year.
Yeah.
In Canada.
And the quality has gone down.
Have you been noticing that too? Because I swear, I don't know if I'm getting stronger in my age, but 2x4s are very light. Like,
yeah, it's
the density.
Some are, some aren't.
I'm like,
what's
going on here? Why is this so light?
Well, it's all new growth lumber. That's the problem, right? So
they're harvesting them way too soon.
Yeah, they're like, these trees are probably younger than I am. Like, it's, as soon as they're ready.
So what does that do to the structure?
You have to they got to get the plywood on. It's got to go quick. Get the drywall on.
Yeah, you got to be
on it,
more careful. Like, so we'll sort through every stud, like anything two crowned, anything that's a little like dungy. You get like the little mold already on them, like. That all goes to the side, doesn't get thrown in the house. And then, but obviously that creates a waste factor in the house, which isn't good either.
Yeah, but you can cut it all up.
Yeah, if it's got mold on it, I won't cut it up and throw it in a house, right? But if
there's visible defects from the harvesting and milling,
I don't mean like wane. I mean like sometimes you'll get studs where you can peel apart like the grain in the wood, like.
Yeah, and that's what I'm finding now.
That's not good.
And then actually, I'm driving on the highways. I'm seeing the flatbeds with the flats of lumber.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing lumber was all pristine, clean, and nice and beautiful. Now I'm just seeing defect at almost every single board.
Even engineered lumber, like LVLs, are getting.
Are they getting bad?
Oh, it's never 11/7/8 anymore. I've burned through 2 planer motors.
What's going on there?
They're just sending it out as quick as they can get it. Maybe the saw at the mill that day wasn't set perfectly square. Like I said, 2 planer motors I've gone through and
just taking them down.
Just planing them down. I got on.
They must have been DeWalt.
Admittedly they were, but. But
everyone knows how I feel about DeWalt.
But even on the house we built now, we got a bundle of 10-foot TJIs that are all 12 1/4. The floor is 11/7/8.
What's going on here? Are these being milled on Fridays or what's going on? I don't understand.
And for me, and as the business owner and the guy with all the responsibility, where you have to make that call,
what do you do?
Are we going to use these? Are we going to lose time and send them back? What's our
because something's got to happen. Either you set it up with the floor, and then you got to deal with the ceiling below, right?
Yeah.
But so who's responsible here at this point?
It'd always be me.
It wouldn't fall on the GC, who falls on to the supplier?
No, because let's say I put it in, and the homeowner or the GC notices a slight little hump in the floor. They're gonna go, "Why'd you use them?" They don't care that the supplier sent them wrong. It's going to be, why did I put
But
that
now
in?
you have extra work, extra effort, extra tools.
Yeah. Well, we lucked out on this one because of the price increase. This homeowner ordered both floor packages at the same time.
Okay.
Which kind of made the site tight. But so I took out of the second floor, and then Rona will replace. I shouldn't have said who sent those.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, whether it's Rona or
replace,
anybody.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's
they're all
where good relationships with your reps are good, right? If they really like you, you can pretty much get anything you want next day, right?
I want to actually speak to the guy.
But I think it's the suppliers, right?
I think it's the supplier's issue. I think you go back to the supplier and go, why is this stuff? Because I really want to meet the individual that stamps that stamp that says premium on it. Because I really don't think these are premium.
And when I
pieces of
say
lumber.
suppliers, it's not the lumber company. It's where the lumber company's
No,
buying it from.
manufacturers,
Right? The
manufacturers,
right?
yes, totally.
But half of our stuff's probably going south of the border,
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
right?
We are a huge nation. We have a huge softwood industry in Canada, but yet the majority of our lumber goes south or east,
Yeah.
very, very far east.
Yeah, and then now that apparently Japan has really got into
They've got into stick framing.
stick framing, and that's where our lumber's going.
But wouldn't you think that Canada, which is such a great country and we have such a strong economy, it should be ours first priority?
You would think.
How do we? That's enough. You don't want to fight that one, eh, Jesse?
I don't want to fight that one.
Well, it's a fight that you're never going to win.
A long time ago, I realized I'm nothing more than just a number. So I'm just going to live my life.
Long time ago. You're 25 years old, man.
Roll with the punches.
So there's nothing we can do about this? I guess it's not even worth going engineer then. But engineer is going to cost the client a pretty penny if you go all
It's
engineer.
not that much more when you...
These days.
These days, it's not. But
On this package here, like $140,000.
How much of it is engineer?
It's not, but to switch it,
To switch it to engineer, you're going to be pretty close to that number.
it's like 10 grand. Overall, that's like a 10%, 15%. I'd do it.
But there'd be an increase in labor too.
Why?
For engineer framing?
LSLs are, so this is what I realized. So again, one of the houses we're working on is mostly engineered lumber in the house. And one thing I learned that I have to factor in when we work with all engineered, nail gun repairs.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's already,
yeah.
Because to get a nail, so there's a high pressure framing system, which is like $6,000 to buy into. It's not even readily available. So like if something were to break or anything like that, like you have downtime, which again is no good. For this job, my compressor has been cranked at like 170 PSI.
Which is just going to take a toll.
Which the guns hate. And I would say honestly
Jesse, what do you have an arm for, man? Go back old school.
Yeah.
Your arm
start
would
swinging
fall
that
off,
thing.
man.
There's your labor cost then, because my investment in the right tools cuts your labor cost.
So there would be, that's what I figured. There would be, so you got to factor in a little bit of an increase in labor.
I would just find a way to, like I said, I've got 15 coil nailers and
Hitachi?
of course.
See, how did you know it was Hitachi, Jim?
But the good ones, some of
the, you talk to any of these old guys, and
They're
they'll
Hitachi,
just throw
man.
that thing on the ground.
I know.
How old is that? Oh, I don't know, 15, 20 years old?
Yeah, mine are all A2s, which came out in like 98.
You can't kill them.
You can't kill them. I hunt for them on eBay. I hunt for them on Kijiji.
And you maintain them yourself, or you send them out to service?
I send them out to service.
Who do you deal with on service? I'm curious.
Complete Equipment. In
Oh yeah,
Mississauga.
totally. Yeah, I totally forgot about them. Yeah, they're solid guys.
But again, speaking to nailing through the engineered lumbers like the LSL studs and all that, probably $800 in gun repairs on this house.
Just on one house.
So one house.
Like pins break, feeders break because the higher pressure the guns hate. Like it's not.
Okay, all you manufacturers listening, build the gun.
No, the
that
guns.
can
The problem
handle
is
this.
the market
guns will never be
hasn't
built the same.
dictated it yet, right?
Right.
I remember having a conversation where Bosch had that laser level, which I thought was pure genius. So it's a laser level to find out if your floor, your concrete floor or any floor, has a dip or a high spot on
You're
it.
talking about the rotary?
No, not the rotary.
No?
This is a different laser that stays on the ground. It shoots out two lines, and whenever there's a dip or a high spot, it splits the lines. This is pure genius.
That's unbelievable.
So it was like a $1,500 item. I was dying for one, and they discontinued it because people wouldn't buy it.
Oh,
Yeah.
So again, the market wasn't asking for it. So I know you gave a shout out right now that sure, Hitachi should be designing engineered framing guns.
But it goes so much further than engineering. Like the steel they're using in them isn't as good anymore. The aluminum isn't as good.
True.
Like
They want it to break.
The reason why those old guns are so good is they're made
because they built them too.
They're made in Japan. They're even like my forklift, my Zoom Boom, is a 2004. And the other day, my hydraulic filter was clogged, and it caused the hydraulic pump to overheat. Like she was steaming. So I called my mechanic. I was like, "Hey, like, I think I fucked up the hydraulic pump. Like, I know that's a big repair. Like, what's going on?" And so he came. He checked it out. He goes, "Yeah, you got her really hot, but you know, like in these old machines, everything's steel. So
You got
like,
her really hot."
In the dead of winter.
Listen, equipment, boats, anything. It's always female.
Yeah.
It's always a she. But
We're gonna get letters.
yeah, probably, maybe. But yes, but like again,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
And he goes, all the new machines, it's all aluminum gearing. Like you would have melted it.
But that's how it is these days. So, we all know that if you have a washing machine that's got a yellow or a green painted color on it, it would last forever.
Yeah.
But these machines are designed specifically to fall apart after 5-6 years, and you got to buy a new one.
I grew up in a house with a washing machine from the 60s. She still works.
It still works, and it's ugly, but it still works. But I think you're right. Tools are designed the same way.
Yeah,
they're built the same way today.
Yeah.
But that's across the board. Nothing's made
No,
to.
I totally agree.
Nothing's made to last.
Anymore,
Look at your
right?
iPhone.
That goes
They make
so-
money because you don't keep a tool for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right?
I
They make
plan
money
on
because
it.
you buy another tool in 5 years.
It goes to everything, right? Like you got the Occidental leather tool belts. They're like, it's a $400 investment. I've had mine for 5 years. It hasn't ripped. It's good. Or you can buy an $80 one once a year.
True.
So it's about who you are as a person and what you can justify.
How are the nails these days?
Good. But
They're good.
Yeah, but that's because I got a guy. I get made in Canada nails.
Really?
But
They're
you
made
don't
in Canada?
use nails.
Yeah. Pardon?
No, strip nails or coil nails. Sorry,
Yeah,
coil
coil
nails.
Yeah, I get made in Canada, good, nice nails.
Good quality, huh?
Yeah, and I'm not telling anyone where I get them.
Tell us off mic. No, because I know a lot of guys will just get a pallet of whatever, and usually it has a big sign that says made in China nails or whatever, right?
Yeah, no, I bought, because I think steel's going up next, or so I've been told. I bought 3 skids to get us through this year.
Nice.
Draw
And that'll
this-
last you 1 year?
That'll probably maybe a little more than a year. That 3 skids is 180 boxes.
And you got to think that way. So, I mean, hopefully the younger guys are listening to you where you got to start anticipating the year and start stocking up on a bunch of stuff.
But that's like, I've changed as a person through business too, right? Like now I can see that the work is going to be there. 2 years ago, I was buying 5 at a time because I wasn't sure if my next house is going to be
and you didn't want to be
there,
carrying that.
right? I didn't want to carry that cost. Now that I have that outlook and I know kind of what it's going to be like, it makes it easier to do that sort of thing.
Invest.
Right? Yeah.
That's all it is. You're investing back into your business.
Right? Yeah. It makes it easier to know that, hey, yeah, this is like $3,000 in nails, but they're going to get used.
I'm curious, Jesse, what are some of the tools that you bought that didn't fulfill what they were supposed to do?
Oh God, I really don't want to say this.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Brother, you're on a roll today.
Don't say any brand names. Don't worry. But
no, because what it is like only this one brand makes it.
uh-oh. So if you share it.
And so if the sales rep ever hears this, you're a great guy.
Come after me.
You tried helping me and it just didn't work. So there's this laser.
Okay.
So that already gives it away. Because there's only one brand framers use. And
what didn't it deliver?
It squares for you perfectly. Like it'll give you over like 300 feet a perfectly square angle.
Really?
And it finds you. So you pull your parallel off the foundation, you set the laser on one mark, you walk to the other end, you set the receiver, you push a button, and it finds it. It's like
wow.
It's like you said, $1,500 laser. This is like a $2,700 laser, and it was supposed to be like life changing.
But it didn't change life.
Out of the box, 2 of the 3 laser lines just didn't work. And I brought it back to where I bought it, and they said, no, this is a warranty issue with the company. So then I called the company, and I'll admit, the guy gave me his personal one, and like for
Did it
sales,
work?
for sales, his worked. But then I waited a month, I got mine back out of the box again, just didn't work.
So what was the issue? Did they resolve?
I don't fucking know, man. But
So
now,
you're just saying customer service sucks.
I've got a $3,000 brick
Sitting there.
just brick. Like
A little light show from the 70s.
yeah, and I bought it because a lot of the times like jobs overlap. So with a laser like this, I can go square and chalk out a foundation by myself. I don't need anyone else there.
Which is efficient.
Which is good,
makes
right?
you
Like
move.
the guy, and then when we show up on site, I don't have 4 guys staring at me while I am chalking
Nice.
lines and leveling all that. It's, hey, show up, joists are here, let's go. Everything's ready. It's already plated.
So why didn't you just give yours to him and kept his?
we wanted it back, right?
Because his works.
Yeah. Well, no, because like they gave it, like they mailed it back to me.
Oh.
Right. So like I don't know, and then I gave him his back, and the next time I used it, it just
So see
didn't go.
that's where I think the supplier, distributor, whatever, should be sticking up for you and going
Yeah.
to the manufacturer.
Well,
and
it's COVID related too, right? Because he did say
I'm
he,
so tired
when
of that.
How is a laser?
no, because he did say like, and again, fantastic. This rep has been. It's no fault of his. When they get them in Canada again, he'll give me a new one. He'll replace it.
When's that gonna?
Nobody knows. I think I might have bought the last one in the country, and it just happened to not work.
So are they all in a shipping container somewhere in the middle of the Pacific?
I don't fucking know, but
Yeah, floating
it'll
around.
get. So yeah, so that was pretty disappointing. What other tools have disappointed
That's
me?
$3,000. See, I always
Yeah.
kind of look at these numbers going, I don't know, that's a new set of tires on my truck.
I buy old
Right?
stuff. That's like my compressor. It's an Airboss. It's gas, and like I think the thing's like 15 years old.
It just works.
But it works. Got a Honda motor on it, and it just
Well, that's
just-
you're
just
starting
run.
off right there, man.
It just runs, right? So you gotta, I don't know, I burnt out the motors on the planers, but that's because it's a cordless DeWalt planer. It's not really,
Yeah,
it's not
they're
really,
not designed
it's
for
not really
that. No,
made
it's-
for
in all
ripping down
fairness.
LVLs.
I think any of the brands,
DIY.
yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
let's
not
face
really, it's not really made.
If it was blue, teal, or red, and they were all
It
cordless,
burnt.
they would have been all the same situation.
Hey, I was teal before I was teal before I went yellow, and it's better stuff, I think. But
But you're chopping with yellow.
no, all the
No.
saws are skill saw.
Yeah, you're all skid saws, yeah.
Yeah,
But you don't have a miter on site.
When we backframe, we do.
Yeah, you
that's
said
a
it
yellow.
right.
That's a yellow one.
That's a
but
yellow
I'm
one.
framing. What do I need a Fez tool? Fucking
you
cape?
don't.
Like there still is very much a tolerance.
Do you have the battery one?
No,
No, eh?
no stationary tools. Why? It sits in one place.
Exactly.
I can't justify the extra cost if it's in one spot all the time.
So you guys use the chop saw.
For like back framing and stuff, yeah. I've tried to bring it out to get one guy just cutting blocks all day, joist blocks, whatever, and I've found it's just as efficient.
You're just sitting
with
there
the
and you're
skill
just
saw.
trying to figure out efficiency. You're just trying to figure out how do I get my crew moving?
Yeah, because like I think I talked about this last time. When you price a house, if you put one blanket square foot value on it, you'll go out of business. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't.
Right? So like I know what my payroll is going to be. I know what my crew's capable of. I know how long it's going to take. I can tally up all those numbers, put on what I want to make on the house, and then give someone a price. If they want to break that down to a square foot value, that's fine. But yeah, and it usually ends up within like an acceptable range anyways. It's just, right? So the way that you can be successful at doing that is finding those efficiencies. The laser, right? That gives me a day where I can go by myself, not pay anyone else to be there, and get a house ready.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore, unfortunately.
Well, hopefully
but-
the reps are listening and realizing that you're a forward-thinking tradesperson trying to figure out, I've got my crew for X amount of hours per day, 5-6
Yeah,
days a week.
we have to
It's
maximize.
production. I
Yeah.
love that word production because, like you said, 5 guys standing around, one guy doing a
It's-
job.
Killing you.
It's
Yeah, killing your
it's
business.
No, it's not. And then say the builder walks on site and he's looking at guys like,
He pointed at me, by the way.
yeah, but it doesn't look good for
Wink,
anyone.
wink.
It doesn't look good for anyone like just guys doing nothing, right?
True.
Like I have a dedicated guy who like basically just cuts blocks and keeps our sites clean.
But to be all fair, like in GCs, we actually love walking onto the job site during the framing stage because it is a symphony to see a good, well-oiled crew working away framing.
Yeah, like I try different things. Like I've tried to have dedicated cut guys where one guy will cut all the headers, all the jacks, all that, and then deliver to guys nailing walls. And I've tried it with everyone just cuts and nails for themselves. I found no real difference, right? I find that when you have one dedicated cut guy, maybe my guy just wasn't good enough at the time, or it leaves guys waiting for stuff while he's taking care of someone else. So like to get that symphony going takes a lot of trial and error.
But it's very respectful. I love watching it. It is me peeping my head inside the hole on a construction site and just taking a look at what's going on.
Things I talk about, I didn't come up with any of this.
No,
right?
you
like
learned it from other things.
Yeah, like I learned it from guys who I've worked for directly under them. I've learned it from guys who like I would consider my mentors in the industry. There's books out there. Guys who have come work for me will go like, oh, you know, like my old boss did this. Like, can we try that? Like, yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
Like, why?
You're open for it.
Let's see if this is positive, and if someone I hired can bring something positive to the crew, that's ideally what you want, right?
But Jesse, you realize 25 years old, that's not what you're supposed to be thinking or saying or acting.
No, but I also...
I'm just saying. You
Yeah,
agree,
What are you, 45?
I got to ask you, so I feel for you guys sometimes. I mean, today was minus 10.
Yeah.
It's cold out there, but I get it.
The sun shining.
Sun shines, you get a little bit of warmth. How are you guys presenting yourselves? Are you guys out there with the tattered Carhartts that are all ripped apart? Exactly. That's what I want to get to. Because Jesse right now is showing us his embroidered logo on his vest, and you got layers, right?
Yeah, we
so
got
you,
layers.
you work in layers, and then you're out there, you get into a groove, you warm up, you take a layer off, and it's a presentation. And you're conscious of that, right?
Try my best to make sure guys are always in like some sort of company attire at all times on site, whether it's in the summer a t-shirt, like a sweater, a vest. I don't really care that much. So, these vests are actually a funny story. One of my guys had these made for us.
Nice.
As a birthday present for me.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
So that was...
Did he put Jesse Barbosa on every single one of them?
No. Everyone's got their name on it, and people told me it was stupid to wear a vest with my name on it because now everyone knows who the Barbosa is and who to yell at. But
so your guys don't walk around with untied safety boots?
No, I don't allow
ripped up.
I don't
overalls.
I don't allow sweatpants.
That's where I'm headed because I think there's huge value to having a crew that looks presentable.
Yeah, I think you gotta. It's all the hiring process. You have to hire the right people. Like I've had guys,
but it all boils down to image too, right?
Yeah, right. Like for me, the number one thing I think before looks and anything like that has got to be a clean site.
Yeah.
I get scatterbrained if there's mess on site. It frustrates me.
But that's also our job as a GC, right?
No, I don't think so necessarily. Like you should be responsible for like
the
bin.
Right. But I mean, no, your work area, if you're framing, it's your site. So obviously, you guys need to take care of it, right?
Yeah.
But there are still some guys out there that go, you'll say, hey, can you clean up? No, it's your job.
Well,
you know what? That is the
you
one.
You should have a guy for that.
I'm too old to repeat that question over and over. Can you clean up after yourself?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to say that. Ask that. Those words should not come out of my mouth.
Like during the middle of the workday, obviously. Like
I don't care about that. At the end of the day,
especially like every Friday when we wrap up on Friday,
tidy up.
2 guys will wrap up tools and 2 guys do like a deep clean, like for the last half hour of the day. Because the weekends is when all the homeowners come through.
They come and visit.
Right, we make sure all the safety rails are up, everything like that. Because like during the framing day, like to lift a wall up, it might be in the stair hole. Like you got to take the rail off, get the wall. That's our own risk that we take, right? Mm-hmm. Like homeowners, they bring their kids, they bring all that, and I don't ever want to be responsible. Oh, my kid fell out a window because you didn't put a rail. Like so, always leave a site as if they were moving in, even though it's at the framing stage. Make it so
that's what we always say. Like, just remember they are going to show up.
They will
after 4 or on the weekend.
Yeah,
with their camera phone light,
100%.
And that's where the professionalism does too. Because when they come by during the day, like I don't want to.
Image.
I don't want to sound like judgy or anything, but who wants to go like, oh, these guys all look like crackheads and they're building my house? like
it's true, man. It's true.
And I think that image thing is important if you want to work in the higher end neighborhoods of the city. Yeah. If you want to go be Joe Blow production guy, and there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think that's something you really ever have to worry about. If you want to go to that next level, the money spent on like company apparel and all that it does more for you than just keeping your guys happy with free clothes, right? Like, so when you pass your trial period with me, you get 3 sweaters, 5 t-shirts, you're taken care of.
Yeah.
They're even different. There is even different colors, so you can mix it up throughout
depending on the mood of the week.
We stick to our own colors. We don't budge. Yeah. All the guys get jackets.
Yeah,
it's all about branding, man.
Yeah,
it's all about branding.
Yeah, you want, but it's image. Like it's.
Well, you got the most recognizable van in the city, right?
Yeah, but I'm changing that because everybody's doing that now. So I want to change it to something else. Everyone can wait until figure out what I'm going to do with that. But Jim, you said that before, where a lot of guys will say, "I quote a job, I do a job, I get a client," then they try to downplay my quote, and then they keep on haggling back and forth, and then you've said, walk away. Yeah. And the truth is, you should be finding the clients that you want to work with.
I walked away over $1,000 once.
Really?
He tried to get my price down by $1,000. I said, honestly, if you're going to fight me now, what's it going to be like later? Right?
So find the clients. Find the clients that you want to work with.
Just sorry,
you know what? I have said that over, and I think maybe I've said that before on these podcasts. That a sub trade like Jesse or Mark or anybody out there, find a handful of good GCs that pay you, feed you with work, and are good to work for. You'll make a ton of money.
Yeah.
No, that's the battle, is finding.
But that's the team. Again, that's building a team, right? That's
I don't think too many guys go straight into business and work for builders right away. Like I did a lot of work direct for homeowner.
Okay.
And then now in the last year is where I'm starting to get that flip, where it's now starting to be like repeat customers who are all builders, and I'm no longer really directly attached to the homeowner. Obviously I meet them and stuff, but
who did you prefer working for, the homeowner or the GCs?
GCs,
of course,
because it job security, right?
Yeah.
So like a guy like Jim's hustle can help keep me busy, right? It's no longer, now I really like the hustle. Signing a contract is a fantastic feeling. Like it is, like when you put
challenge.
Yeah, but I love it. Like, so when you get the first call, you look at the plans, you submit a price. I always follow up. I always give them a call. Hey, what do you think? Do you have any questions? And then like a week or so will go by and I call again, and maybe like it's pushy, whatever. I don't care. And I go like, hey, my schedule is kind of filling up. Like I need to know, are we going to do this or whatever? You have like a little negotiation maybe, and then you sign. And like that whole, I guess it's a sales process really, is fun to me. Mm-hmm. I like that hunt.
It's the chase.
It's the thrive.
Yeah.
You just go after it.
Yeah. And then you get that first draw and all the endorphins go off. And you're
but then you start panicking about the last draw.
Yeah, it's always the fucking last draw.
Yeah.
Always.
That's funny. Last draw. Last draw.
Yeah. But, I actually got pissed off about a month ago.
You don't get pissed off.
In my own way. As a GC, as a contractor or whatever, we we throw the drawings out to all our trades. At least have the courtesy to get back to us in a timely manner.
I'll admit, at times I'm bad for that.
So how much time? Like this is Jim.
We give a date. We give a date.
Yes. How much time do you allocate for them to get back to you?
Well, we used to. I mean, we allow 2 weeks, but I think given 2 weeks, guys take 3 and 4.
In a busy construction season, two weeks is a blink of an eye. It is 3 weekends, right? It goes fast.
And you know what? We've lost 2 jobs because we couldn't get it on time.
Did you let them know?
Yeah.
Over
the
to
one
you
that
now.
you just priced, everybody was within the week because we sent out an email and
reminded everybody.
Yeah, just, respect what we do. We respect what you do.
Yeah.
Respect the 50, 60, 100 hours that we're putting in to try to get the job. We haven't got the job yet.
Yeah.
At least if all we're asking you to do is get your price in on time so we can present and at least have a fair shot at getting this thing, right?
For me, it's all mornings, right? So like as a small business owner, like my day, every email that someone is going to get from me is going to be sent from between 5:30 in the morning and 6:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right. Every morning, my alarm goes off at 5. I wake up, make a coffee, whatever. I sit down, stare at my computer for an hour and a half to 2 hours. I look over drawings on the bigger houses. I'll allot like 3 or 4 days to go through everything, right?
So 3 or 4 mornings.
Yeah, like a 5,000 square foot house can't be priced in an hour. It's impossible. You'll put out a stupid price or you'll miss something that when you get to that point.
That's the dangerous thing. You miss something.
Yeah.
That's what it costs you.
Yeah.
Right. And especially
Or it costs you the job.
Yeah. Or it costs you the job. Right. And then, so like 6:45, all the emails are out. I leave for the site, set up the site in the morning. I work till some nights 6. On a week like this week, then I'd go to Bob's, thankfully, right? Drop off guns, hey, I need these repaired. They're at the front door.
Nail guns,
Nail guns, yeah.
Not in front of the bank.
Right? And then I'm home at like 8. And
then before you know it, you're going to turn in a couple hours.
And then some days are good days where you can just sit down and chill. And then some days are bad days where you open up a set of drawings again and you're like, okay.
Then you try to catch up.
Yeah.
On the weekend.
It's when the drawings stop coming, that's when you need to start worrying.
Yeah. hey, being busy is a blessing, right?
Yeah.
That's when you guys say like the drive, like that's what it takes. Like days are 16-hour days some days. I barely slept like I mentioned to you. I don't know if we talked about it earlier on this podcast. Like they added a chimney to the house.
Yeah, you were mentioning.
Right?
Yeah.
Like what that did to me is all Wednesday night, I couldn't sleep because I'm thinking like, how the fuck
do you do it now?
am I going to do it now?
Yeah.
Right? Like they still got to dig the footing and all that for it. They got to do it. But like now I'm thinking like cut out a hole in the house to make right? And next thing I know, it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, fuck, I got to be up in 3 hours.
Get the concrete guys to do it.
Right? Well, that's where the problem stemmed from. It was originally going to be a faux chimney, all block, covered in stucco.
Okay.
And then now, because in the master bathroom,
Is it a wood burning?
No, it won't.
No, it'd be zero clearance.
This is all design.
Yeah.
Right. The reason why this now
just frame it and stick it on the side of the wall.
Well, this is where the extra work comes in. Right in line with the chimney is his master shower. Since a designer was brought in when I'm ready for the roof, now that shower, they want to use the chimney space to make it bigger. You know what I mean? So it's going to protrude.
Oh, wow. You just want to complicate things now, right? So
right,
now,
yeah.
structurally speaking, your floor is going to go cantilever into the chimney space.
Well, no, because on the first floor, we'll frame it up to the floor height.
Yeah, and then build it out.
Right?
But yeah, you're adding a balcony to a section.
Something like that, yeah. So now, and then the chimney protrudes past the roof 10 feet.
Yeah, code.
Right? So
but it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything, but now the onus is on me
to build it.
But how do you keep it from swinging back and forth in the wind? Right?
Well, right now these are like I could set up scaffolding and stick frame it. I can build it in the driveway and call on a crane, and that's where like staying up all night comes
You're
from.
trying to figure it out.
I got to figure out how to make this happen. Yeah. It's not like the world's most difficult thing, but it's one of those things where it's like
it's got to work.
It's up to me. I got to figure this out, right? And at the same time, I got to keep other guys busy. Right, I can't dedicate 5 guys to doing this. So like your brain is in so many places in one day. It's not even funny. Like staying organized and on top of even just like the current job you're on is a dedicated effort. Like you'll get a set of drawings throughout the day. Like you'll start thinking about it. Like I go, oh wow, that's like a nice barrel dormer. How would I do that? Like this would be so nice. But you're framing a floor on the house you're on, and you got to be in tune with all those.
You got to be focused.
You got to focus on that, right? Mm-hmm. Plus, then add 3 guys all asking you for instructions.
Where do I go? What do I do?
Yeah,
keep the machine running.
Yeah, exactly. It's
you got to love the clients, I guess, Jim. You've come across this a few times where should we wait till spring?
No. No point.
This is Canada. All trades work right through the spring. Yeah. But I mean, the only time that you don't frame is if it's a downpour
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a basement to do.
There's always something to do. But basically,
Always
a downpour
something.
is the only thing that you can really slow you down. Snow doesn't slow you down. It'll slow you down.
We'll work out in the snow until it either becomes too slippery, or if I got to clear snow every 2 minutes to then make room to build a wall or something, it's not
worth it.
It's not worth it. It's better to just go home.
I don't find anything wrong with winter building.
No.
Never have.
Just bundle up, prepare for it, have
Honestly,
your breaks, stay
I'd
warm.
rather like frame now, and like you say, it's February. It's going to be February in another few weeks, and then you get the client that says, "Well, why don't we wait till spring?" Okay, we can wait till spring. So now you're going to wait that much longer. But once it starts to rain, there's nobody's coming to your site.
Yeah.
It's like I say, I can shovel snow, but I can't shovel rain.
Yeah.
Right? I can still work. Can't work in the rain. If you, do your excavation, pours rain. Now I got to almost re-excavate again, pump out the water. They do the soil test. No, got to go down another 3 inches.
Yeah.
It's too, like it just.
No, I'll admit, my crew, light rain, we'll keep pushing. The boys some of them are psychos, but
I mean, the biggest
I'm not
thing.
saying I'm not saying I like
But the
it.
biggest thing you got to worry about is when you do your footings, and you got to keep the ground. You have your insulation. We have a shitload of insulation blankets that we use, and and we deal with that to keep the frost out of the ground.
Yeah.
Get your footing in, get your walls up, get your first floor, cap
Get it going.
and then heat it. It's all it's going to cost you a couple $1,000 in heat for a few months.
Yeah.
But you're saving months.
And then you're so ahead of
Then
the
it's the finish line, because if you wait and you push and you postpone,
Right.
you might get stuck moving in the winter now.
But then now by the time you frame it, by the time you do the foundation, frame it, roof on, windows in, it's April, May.
Yep.
Now all the exterior can start, and you
Yep.
don't have
Yep.
to heat the outside.
Summertime.
You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, you do your stone.
By the end of the
whatever
summer, you're
doing.
doing the inside,
Yeah.
and then you're moving in early fall.
Or even
Ideally.
if it you start later in the fall and you get stuck in the winter, you don't have to do the exterior.
No,
but
you can wait.
It's closed in.
It's closed in.
You can start doing all the roughing of everything else.
And even if you put R5 on the outside of a house,
It's
huge.
warm.
it's warm inside.
One heater will take care of the
It'll
house.
take care of the house. It gets
simple.
pretty nice.
A lot more than an open
Yeah, we had
frame
that
house.
heater in the basement at that place. It was 4,500 square feet. We did the R5 on the outside. Didn't even have the insulation in the ceiling yet. 72 degrees.
Yeah.
For the schwank that's in the basement.
That's Caribbean weather for framing. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Not for frame. It's just for guys roughing in.
yeah.
Listen,
I know.
as far as winter goes, -5 in the sun is pretty nice.
It's warm.
It's not.
Oh, yeah. And then
Like
when you're working,
you can laugh and think we're
No, I know. Trust me, I've stood there. I've stood there, man.
If you're moving, the best thing to
It's
do,
comfy.
if you work on a framing crew with a gas compressor in the winter, the best thing to do, be the guy that starts it. Because when you crank that pull cord, right, gets your blood flowing, you're good, you're warm, you're ready to go for work.
Everybody else is shivering.
Everyone else, I shit you not, that's the best thing.
So with lumber packages and the prices going through the roof and us shipping material outside of this beautiful country, you think there's going to be a rise in steel framing?
No, because steel is a commodity too.
It's also expensive,
It'll
eh?
just go up.
And it doesn't make really for a better home, thermally speaking.
In our climate, no, all steel I would not do. I mean, I know a lot of commercial buildings, it's all steel. Right? Like I don't,
Yeah.
from like a structural point, I don't think you could not, like,
I
I think it'd be
I
fine
would
to
do
do.
interior. Like I framed many basements in steel before.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is nice. It's easy. You get a perfect straight wall, no screw pops. I mean, that is the beauty of it.
But then you increase mechanically. You got to run electrical a certain way. You got to run HVAC a certain way.
Yeah, you got to put the
plumbing
grommets, in and all
You have
that.
an
It's
increase
a little
there.
more. Yeah, it's a little more work.
Yeah.
But it's a perfect wall.
It's true.
I mean, back in a long time ago, my lumber supplier, asked me one time. He goes, "Look, I got a bunch of excess lumber here. It's finger joint. Do you want to use it?"
Really?
He's shaking his head. It was the best thing for me.
Really?
Yeah, I had no callbacks.
You did not have any.
It cut down my screw pops and everything else 75%.
With finger jointed
with
lumber.
finger joint lumber? Really?
Yeah.
That I don't.
I don't know. I don't see that.
Yeah, you can't lay it down; it'll snap.
Yeah.
The only way you can do it, it's only for
Vertical loads.
Vertical loads.
Yeah, I agree it works, but like
Brilliant. And if you want,
Do they still sell it?
yeah,
it's hard to get.
Oh, okay.
I'd say 4 years ago we were building with finger joint.
Yeah, and it was about 4 years ago it came out. I
Yeah.
mean, years before that, then it kind of disappeared because whatever. Then it came out again. Now it's kind of disappeared again.
I think though, like you're talking about perfect walls and stuff. There's no reason why like a standard 2x6 framed wall can't be
Perfect.
perfect. It just requires more effort. So from like a quality control standpoint, like we have a 8-foot level, right? That at the end of a house, I'll run it along all the walls.
See if it's doing that.
If I get a little rock somewhere, it's not really an issue for me to take out that little cordless planer, plane off 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch here or there.
But you know what? But that's
Right.
that's great. But that lasts for
It's still going to move.
it'll still move.
like
yeah,
if you
the
don't
sole
if you
finger
can't
joints is longer.
get your sub trades in, your mechanical, all your M&Es done in time, it's going to move. We had that problem on a house that we're in the middle of a lawsuit that they stopped the project. We kept sending email after email after email.
Making them aware of these potential hazards.
We cannot warrant how the wall's going to be. It's been 2 months now. It's been the worst humidity ever. And your walls are going to be all over the place. Didn't care, did nothing. Took us 3 months to finally settle what we needed to settle to get back on the job. And then that was the end result. At the end of the job is what they're holding us for. And we have,
Mid-span block everything.
yeah.
Everything.
Even on an 8-foot?
Well, I ran into a similar issue, right?
Well, that's what we did all that.
Yeah.
And still, like if you don't get on it, like it's crucial when you.
I can only imagine
when you
lumber
say to
today
your-
is worse. It doesn't
Right,
even
and
have a
when
2-month window.
You say to your
Yeah.
client, like, make up your mind what you want, so we can get the plumbing done, the electrical done, so I can get
It's
some
important.
board on.
It matters.
There's a reason why we push to get this done.
Yeah.
It's only it's only for the performance of your home and how it's going to look at the end, right? I mean,
But
we're
yeah,
going to get
even
screw
if there's-
pops. You can't get rid of that. Tell my clients all the time, look, get through the first winter. Like Rob's called. He goes, Jim, I got a couple. I said, you haven't gone through the winter yet. I said, there's going to be more, in the summer, spring, we'll come back, we'll fix them up, and that's it. You can't. I mean, wood is living, breathing
Yeah.
thing, right? So, and I think it's going to be worse with, as you say now. That the
I just
lumber's
find that the
even
material, the
shittier.
lumber is just crap, man.
Yeah, it's just-
I'm still going to get blamed for it, though.
That's the unfortunate thing.
You will, 100%. You will.
That's
It was the way you framed it.
Yeah, I said it before. I signed up for this on my own free will, so I'll deal with that when the time's.
So you know what? The way to get rid of that? Here's my solution. Costs more money though. What's the insulation package? What do we have to be?
SB12, whatever, or R24?
R24, R22 on the main walls?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to save money? Put your 2 inches of rigid on the outside. There's your 10. Do a 2x4 wall. Now you got R24.
You have 3 inches there, so that'll be
inches there.
18, and then the 4. Yeah. Okay.
Now we're going to go to steel.
Frame in front, inside.
Framed in front of it with an 1 5/8 steel stud.
Clients will never
No.
sign off on that because you just took away 3.5 inches of area around the perimeter.
No, but I didn't.
No, sorry, you took away 2.5 inches.
I didn't take anything. I went with a 2x4.
Can't do that. All your load bearing walls got to be 2x6.
All right.
That's-
Do they?
Yeah.
Your load-bearing walls, but your perimeter walls, as long as you meet the insulation requirements of the OBC, you're fine. So
Your perimeter walls are what carries every load in the house.
that's true.
Everything runs from the
Yeah,
exterior.
that's true. So yeah, you would never. No, but I thought your exteriors were actually designed for 2x6 for the
They're-
cavity of the insulation.
I'm sure there could be like revisions made because I know in other parts of the world
You'll
you
need
use
to
2x4. Like
The
you
only
can't use
reason
2x4 on
Ontario
the
we
exterior.
went to 2x6 was
Was for
for the
insulation.
R value. But
So
then
why don't we go to 2x8 then?
2x8?
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
No. You have to do 2 separate walls
Why?
because you need to get that break. So you need to build your wall for structure and then put your insulation on the outside, put your insulation on the inside, but then put your dead straight wall, which is the steel, and that's what you're finished with. So you are still getting a thicker wall, but I'm pretty sure that you can get away 2x4 structurally perimeter.
I think so.
You can, but it has to be drawn that way.
It would have to be drawn that way.
And then noted, engineer has to sign off on it, but then the city or the government or whatever is going to ask for the R value.
It's all the R value.
We jumped to 2x6 strictly for R value. That's what it was. So we couldn't get the minimum R in a 2x4 cavity. But if you put the insulation on the outside,
I guess, you would meet all your minimum bearing requirements on all your floor joists with a 2x4.
totally.
Sure, it's 3.5, right?
Yeah, totally.
You got 3.5, and then you got 1.25 is your rim board that still leaves 1.75 left.
Yeah.
So in that's like,
most of the time your bearing is minimum 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
If you get 3 inches, then they're very happy.
hey, you yourself are the guy. Never go minimum.
Oh, I know. Listen, I would go. I sometimes question. I see an engineer note and it says 1.5 inch bearing, and I'm like, 1.5 inch bearing.
We got one on the house down the road. 10.5 inches minimum bearing for one of our beams. For
What was the span?
A 4-ply LVL.
Yeah.
And on a span of what?
Butts into the steel beam. I think 11 feet.
And they're asking for 10.5 inches.
Yeah, it is specifically
crazy.
called out. I don't know why.
And a 4-ply?
I've never, but that's where it's important to hire the guys that pour through, like, that first page that's all the construction notation and all that.
Yeah, the fine print. Yeah.
Ask how many of your sub trades actually read that page.
They don't. They don't. It was a while before I read it.
Yeah, but that's where all the little things that when you're doing your walk through your house that can fuck you, that's where all that information
Yeah, and that's where the inspector is going to come along and is going to find that one note.
Most inspectors don't know that.
No. Well, they know one thing. I find that every inspector has one thing that they know
that
really
they love
well.
calling out on.
Yeah.
They're almost, that's their trademark. You know what I mean? But the thing is, we don't know who the inspector is and we don't know what his trademark is. I wish you guys would show up on a white hat and the trademark on the back of your shirt, so then I know what it is.
It sounds wrong, but I was always told you got to leave one small thing
For them to catch it.
Yeah, because once they catch that one thing, they let their guard down and they're satisfied.
That's interesting. It's true.
Not saying I do that.
I like that.
I've been told that in the past. You got to leave. It's like with the safety guy. If you leave one railing out on a window,
Well, this should
he'll
be real.
zero in on that, and then you won't notice that your stair hole's not covered.
Yeah.
You give them that one thing to make them feel good that they did their job, and then the rest is okay.
Or
good point.
Or
Not a good
put
practice.
a heater in the shitter.
Oh, don't go there.
The
Don't
little
go there.
space heater that doesn't work, and you just take a photo of it.
Don't go there, man.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if we all refused to work in the winter because we weren't provided a heated porta potty? You can.
Sure you
You
can.
can.
I mean, you can get shut down.
Yeah.
No.
You can get shut
Legally,
down.
right now, all
You're
potties
supposed to.
in Canada have to have a heater in there.
Yeah.
Legally speaking, they have to have
Once
a heater.
in my life have I had a heated porta potty on a side.
That was it?
Once. Once.
I got nailed twice.
You got nailed
Yeah.
twice? I remember one time on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was shut down because of that.
Shut down.
What I don't like is that there are some tradespeople out there that refuse to use the toilet for number 2. And even if you set it up with the heater and everything's all good and it's all legit, they still will go down to the local coffee shop or whatever and do number 2 over there.
or go home.
Or go home. Or go home. Exactly, right?
That just comes with the territory.
That's just how it is,
Yeah.
man.
Hey, and we're blessed on custom home sites where it's usually one crew at a time. You go into a subdivision when the bricklayers are in there.
The brickies? They're
The
messy?
brickies. I'm sorry, brickies, but oh man, it's bad.
The Portuguese, brother.
Yeah.
Lots of Italian brickies out there, okay? There's lots of mortadella down there. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
but
man.
What is that feud between you guys?
If you,
I don't know
if
what
you
it
want
is.
it done
I
right,
had
you
nothing
hire
to
the
do-
Portuguese.
I had nothing
get
to
shot
do
for
with
that.
it, man. Nothing to do with it.
It's always, the...
Man, drive through Little Portugal is nice brickwork.
Oh, it's beautiful brickwork. Brickwork that's not done today.
In Portugal, if you wonder why it's such a poor country, it's because everything's fucking built perfectly. It's built like walking through San Miguel in the Azores is it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, but everything's poured into the stonework.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the long lunches. They got to have the little flask of wine
Exactly.
and the loaf of bread.
And it's a shame that you can't do that because
Now,
if
wouldn't
the
it
MOL,
be-
that wouldn't fly.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if we were not so hyper production driven where you could do something like that?
Oh, that'd be amazing, man.
Start at 7, work till 11, stop till 12:30.
Christ,
then
that's
go-
what happens all the time now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe I'm just a
Start
shitty-
something, Jesse.
yeah, maybe
Start
I'm just
something,
a-
man.
No,
No,
we let
it would drive you crazy, man. The production
Yeah.
would go out right out the window.
No, like if we're motoring and like we've had a good week, like on a Friday you might stop at 4, like, or you like take an hour lunch, like just shoot the shit. But like when it's go time, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, half an hour, let's
There's
go. Back to
no
work.
hour left.
I know I
Because
brought
you
this
lose your
up.
rhythm.
Yeah,
I know I brought this up where the HVAC crew on a current job I'm on was ordering McDonald's Uber.
I've started Uber Eating.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, does your crew make their lunch and come to work? And
It's about 50-50.
Okay.
Me, I'm bad for it.
so you're doing Uber lunch?
I'm so busy. Like to find the time to, like, I could.
I just
Maybe-
find you lose so much time.
Maybe I'm lazy. But the thing with like coffee orders now, I'll Uber Eats them because it's cheaper for me to
Instead
Then
of sending
someone
somebody.
to have them deliver it than
Put
to
it on
send
the-
a guy at
put one on
$30
site,
an hour.
man.
A coffee machine?
Yes.
Some
Plug in.
sites don't even have power.
Well, you got
You got your
temp
Jenny.
power.
You got
Yeah.
your Jenny.
Yeah, well, that's the one we're on now is a Jenny, and I hate it.
Plug
You
in
don't
a
have temp
machine.
power there?
No, it's awful because I have a heater in my job site trailer, right? That keeps our glue warm, keeps the batteries warm, keeps things charging throughout the day.
And you got to run. That's wrong, man.
I'll admit, he bought a nice Honda. It's quiet. You could have a conversation standing next to it.
Doesn't
but
matter. You should have temp. That's
even-
wrong.
That's
on all
mandatory.
levels.
Even
yeah.
even my forklift, right? It's minus 10 out there. It's a diesel. It's got to be plugged in.
Still has to be plugged in.
Christ, we know we're not starting for another 3 weeks. We got our temp service in already.
But that's the difference between homeowner, builder.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
There's less penny pinching going on, right? Like you can build this house 5,800 square feet, it's a monster, but then putting a temp power pole is too much money for you. You can't control
Also,
human nature.
you know what?
It is
$3
what it is.
grand.
Have you gone through
Yeah.
it though? I mean, Toronto Hydro is not the best entity to work with.
They're tough. Yeah.
They're tough,
they're
man.
tough because it's just taking so long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're using, and I know we don't want to say this, but they're using COVID as an excuse for delays. I find it frustrating, man.
Yeah.
But if you're proactive enough about it, you can still hit all your time. It's all about being proactive, right? If you know it's going to take a little longer, call them a little bit earlier, right?
I'm still trying to do the math here. I guess it is cheaper for you to Uber Eats coffee instead of send a guy to go
Yeah.
get coffee. Go pee. Just gotta go pee. We're gonna take a small break and then
Yeah.
he'll come back.
No,
No. So while he's peeing there,
that's the thing, man.
and
Two
actually, it does
Portuguese
make
guys,
sense,
we can
man.
talk.
Sorry,
I said 2 Portuguese guys. We can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
but it does make sense because I was a little dumbfounded when I saw that because I started asking. I've never in my life done Uber Eats. I just
Yeah.
can't justify the delivery fee and then the tip fee
Yeah, but when you pay a guy to send
right, out. It actually is cheaper then.
it is cheaper, and then you don't lose a guy on site,
That's true
right?
too.
Because so coffee break for us is usually at 10. So at 9:50, I'll send a guy.
Yeah.
9:45. Like some sites are far away from a coffee place, or some only have one where you can walk. There's only walk-in. There's no
True.
drive-through. So now he's got to get out of his
So
truck.
you put the
go
call
wait
in, and
line.
then it arrives at a certain.
And then whenever it gets there, okay.
Then you
coffee.
guys stop and you have your
Yep,
break and you
have
go
a
right
break,
back to
and
it.
You go right back to it. It is worth it. I like buying coffee I don't normally we will
It's a
occasionally
nice
take,
gesture,
yeah,
man.
like usually I'd say 80% of days I buy. Fair, I think, right? But the other guys do, so it evens out eventually. But
I'll give you a little
It's
tip,
just-
Jesse. You can
yeah.
always, because I know this happens to me quite a bit, is the reps and the salespeople that want to stop by site.
Yeah.
They always offer the coffee thing,
Yeah.
and then you send them a list, and then they show up on
yeah,
the site with a list.
yeah.
Never right, but
No, but
mostly
it's
right.
The thought, it's the thought
It's
that
the
counts.
thought that
right?
counts,
I
right?
had a rep bring us all pizza for lunch one day. That was fantastic.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I didn't end up.
Same laser.
No, a forklift. But we can talk about When we do the 10 questions, I'll let you know what my dream vehicle is because I'm about to buy it.
We'll bring that up, man. But yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out because I know that you've gone through. Here it goes. Jim's coming back now. Feeling a lot better.
A lot better.
What are you doing? Because I know that you talked about how you'll take the 8-footer and then you'll check all the crowns on the walls and make sure that's nothing popped. And if anything's popped, you'll take a working yellow tool and you'll plane it, right?
Yeah.
What are other things that you do that other guys don't do that you kind of take pride in yourself in doing?
A lot of like doing all the passive detailing and all that. Now that's becoming more standard. There are a few crews in the city who
You're taking notes.
who take care of that.
Yeah.
A lot of that we do. I always screw subfloors. Like that's just a given now.
Using
You'll
quick
do
drive?
that?
Yeah.
You don't just nail them?
It's easier, I
It's-
think, isn't it?
What I found, again, coming back to efficiency, right? So when as a 4-man crew, we're sheeting the floor. One guy's on the gun, one guy's cutting sheets, one guy's bringing them, one guy's gluing and hitting them in, right?
So you nail them first, just attack them?
No, usually what I've found, because obviously the nail gun's faster, but what I found is the guy nailing is always ahead, right? The quickest thing to do in that process is nailing down the sheets. Once he's done nailing a sheet and he's waiting for one, he's stopped moving. He's not doing anything. The screw gun is just fast enough that when you hit that rhythm, it's that symphony, right? It's screwing down. Okay, the next sheet gets brought. Okay, he's there. He's screwing that one. Okay, the next one gets brought. Okay, he's screwing that down. From my perspective, I don't have to go back and do it, right? So there's the savings on nails and stuff
So
like
we
that.
have a guy that comes in and does it.
Yeah, is your flooring guy? I guess will screw him down. Or
That's all he does.
Yeah.
This is all he does. He comes in, he grinds it, screws it, then he grinds it.
yeah, so
Grinds the edges.
So you just temporary tack it when you're framing, and then he comes back in.
Well, no,
you fully nail it down.
They'll fully nail it down. Then he'll come in, probably grind it first, then nail it. But he comes in after the drywall's up.
Yeah,
Because it's probably moved by then, and he wants all the weight of the drywall. May do this, may do that. He comes in and does it. It's
yeah.
it's 15, it's 15 cents
Well, now
A
he
sheet?
only
a square foot.
a square foot.
Yeah, it's not expensive.
only needs to sand it.
Oh, he needs to sand it.
Yeah, it might
But
be
I guess in
7.5
your
cents.
assembly, Jesse, your assembly, how much more time is it costing you to actually screw it down versus?
It's really this because that one guy now is just always moving.
That's all he
it's
does.
about the same time, right?
I
And
just
like-
find it's a better seal because you've got the PL already underneath, and now
Yeah,
you
it-
squeeze the
it
screw right
sucks
then
right
and there.
tight, yeah. Right.
Now it makes it all one unit, and that's how building is. It's like that
Yeah.
TGI has got to be firmly connected to
not
that
like
substrate.
not like you really should be missing nails on a 2.5 inch or a 3 inch floor.
You'd be
joist,
surprised
but it's
sometimes.
all like with a screw when you miss, it's nice and
know.
easy to just pull it out.
Yeah.
You're not digging a cat's paw into the sheet. If let's say you need to take a sheet off or something, like sometimes there's areas that need to get insulated, like in a reno or something. It's
Yeah.
easy to just screw it out. Like it's
It makes more
right.
sense. for
Like
sure.
again, like how I mentioned, us ripping off the subfloor. If I had nailed that floor down, it's taken 3 times as long to take it apart.
I know.
Right. And then like we use like the proper Simpson screws, so there's a structural factor to them. They still
Yeah, it's a
have-
number 3 head.
Yeah, they still give your shear value.
So you're
and
using
all
quick
that.
drives?
Yeah, the quick drive. I think like once you find that rhythm and that efficiency, there's no reason why you shouldn't screw down.
They
your
haven't
floors.
made that gun in a battery, eh?
They do.
They have a battery now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have it. But
You have it?
Yeah.
Why didn't you go the?
I got a problem.
Oh, really?
And if
Tell me more about
So
the problem
what's
with
the
the yellow
drive?
tool.
What's the driver you're using?
It's no, I don't mean I have a problem with the tool. I have a problem with making sure the way I have it with like our tool setup and all that, there is no reason on any site, even when we're running 2 sites, why any one of my guys will say to me, we don't have this, we can't do it. Right? That's why I have 15 nail guns.
Yeah.
Because when 7 are broken,
Redundancy,
I
man.
still have enough.
Yeah.
Right? So
So how many quick drives you got?
that I only have one of, because usually on a subfloor it's
You got one guy.
But what
moving.
if it broke?
Right now,
Yeah.
is the first time we're experimenting, or I'm experimenting, I should say, with like 2 houses at the same time.
Just to see how it goes.
Right. I just wanna see kind of what that process, what the stress levels like that on me are, and if it works good, then maybe there's room to maybe expand a little bit. But
So how would that work for us GCs? You got one crew going on 2 different houses at the same time. So are you?
No, 2 separate crews, 2 houses.
2 separate crews,
You can't jump back and forth. That's not fair to anyone.
Okay,
No.
exactly, right?
No.
But so you're still creating the production in the same amount of time, carrying 2?
When we start, I'll give a shout out to one of my guys right now, Neil, who is my best guy. He's my foreman. He's my right-hand man. He has all the same building principles as me. Like, he's very, very talented. Whenever we start a job, because I run a business, there's times where in the mornings I'm not there till 10, right? And questions still come up and all that. That's kind of just the nature of the business, right? I make sure before we start a job, obviously they know me. I introduce them to Neil. If you have any questions and I'm not here, this is the only person you talk to.
Yeah.
And since he's been with me basically since the start, he knows how I build, he knows how I like things. So now that there's opportunities to branch out and all that right now, he's in the lead position, and then I can then take another crew and do stuff like that. Obviously on like the hand cut roofs or any super hard things, or if there's a need to put 2 together, then we can do that. But I'm just experimenting with it right now. I'm trying to see how it goes.
Interesting.
I don't want to do it with sub crews, because my reputation cannot be put on someone I can't directly control.
No.
Right? That's
So it's smart that you're doing that, because that is avoiding the cap.
John Carlo, when he did our stuff back, he would, he would have a couple sites going on,
Yeah.
a couple crews. But then when it came to the roof,
He was there.
he was there, but he just brought his best guys. They did the roof in half the time that it would normally take.
The A team.
And then they move over. And you know what? I mean,
I don't want to have that A team, B team thing.
You want an AA meeting.
I want an A.
Not an
and
AAA.
Yeah, no.
but I mean, there's sometimes you need to, you would say to your GC and just say, look, I'm going to be away for 3 days. We got a roof to do.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not going to be happy, but I get it. And usually they're back and they do the same thing, because they're going to do the same thing for you one day.
Yeah.
That they're going to tell this guy that I got to go over and do Jim's roof. I'll be gone for 3 days.
Yeah.
But you know what? If it gets it done and it gets it done the way it should be done,
Then it's good.
Absolutely.
There's
And
nothing wrong with that.
like it all comes down, like you have to have that communication though. You can't have a guy call you on a Monday morning and go, where the fuck are you? Right? You have to tell him like the Tuesday before.
Of course.
Hey, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, we're going to all pull off, get the roof done, and then the rest of the crew, it'll be more guys here to kind of keep your job moving, right? So like I said, I'm just experimenting with it right now.
It's working.
It's going good right now because it's not 2 full new houses, right? Like there'll be a smaller addition and then the main build. Like I'm not trying to do 2 6,000 square foot monsters of houses. Right, that would just lead to me being on the phone all day, problem solving in 2 places, and
Stressed.
then nothing gets done. Right, I'm trying to do it slowly. I'm also trying to avoid being the truck GC where I'm spending all day driving back and forth from job sites. Oh, there's a problem here, I have to be there. Okay, and then
That's not efficient.
No, because when people hire Barbosa Carpentry, right, like my name is on the company, they hire me, so I have an obligation to be there and control as much as I can personally.
Okay, we got to get wrapping up. Any other questions you want to ask Jesse here, Jim?
I'm learning from him right now.
I got one last question before we get into the 12 questions there, but any good framing jokes out there?
Good framing jokes?
Any digs at bricks or mechanical or anybody else? There's no other. No? I just figured.
Not jokes. There's like framer isms. Like,
I'd love to hear a couple of those, man.
looks good from my house.
Yeah, that's the classic one.
Everyone knows that one. A lot have expletives that I can't say on a podcast.
You really, to get the full effect, you need to be on the site to experience those ones.
You need to be on the job site. On our crew, we bring in jokes. Like a big one lately has been, it's not rocket appliances.
I like that one.
Like I'll be trying to figure out like a curved, like a bell roof, like the radius and all that, and I'll go to Neil or something. I'll be like, it's not rocket appliances, or like worst case Ontario.
Worst case Ontario.
It's really just trailer. It's all from Trailer Park Boys. It's really just
okay, all right.
Just
Trailer Park
little
Boys,
shit like that. You nailed it, nailer. Like when someone finishes a wall. Just stupid.
Like, what are
stupid-
some of the old ones?
Yeah, stupid.
Like, what are some of the old ones?
Stupid shit.
I don't know. There's like,
Dude, you're not building a watch.
yeah.
Oh, one thing we do, again, this is all like personal stuff on our crew, but we had a really good new guy who ended up, like, he worked hard, showed up, he was really good. His wife had egged him on to like go join the union and get benefits for like the kids and all that. And I get that. Like, I don't blame them all. His name was Spencer, so now randomly we'll just yell, Spencer! We miss you! Like, yeah.
Every crew has it, man. I just know that there's always the digs between the Portuguese and the Italians. It depends on who it is on the side. I don't know. I guess you still get an Eastern European digs as well in there too. Right?
Yeah.
They're there.
See, framing's so universal. There's like, I know Ukrainian crews, Portuguese crews, Italian crews. Like,
who's not
there's,
framing?
There's so many.
Irish are not framing. Are they framing?
I don't know.
No, they're framing. They're framing.
Yeah, like I just. But then, like, when you go into brickies, like, I would only ever hire a Portuguese guy to do brick. I'm sorry. Like,
no. Fairness though, I know good Portuguese, Italian, Irish brickies. I know them all.
Our stone masons are Ukrainian. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. See, if,
Polish Ukrainian.
But if I'm
you could pull
thousands
Iranians
of dollars in tile in my house, I'm gonna hire an Italian. Like,
the stereotypes of construction,
it's just the
man.
Construction stereotypes.
It's funny.
But then framing's everyone. Jamaicans, everyone frames.
Oh, I know Jamaican framers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they roll up in 350Zs, fully loaded. Oh yeah, with the saws and everything in the back, little hatch of the car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't
imagine.
get it, man.
I cannot imagine.
Lyndon Chambers, Lyndon Chambers. That's what he rolled. It was either that or occasionally the Escalade would show up.
Your framer, Ziggy, he's Polish.
He's Polish.
He's funny.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Dry, man. You got to meet him one day. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And he's got 4 daughters.
Oh, man.
4 daughters, man. No sons.
Oh, wow. When we worked with him, that was a howl, man. We were laughing all day.
He's hilarious, man.
We were going. Fuck, man. Yeah, he's like, I'm thinking back, like, just so deadpan of like, you don't know if he wants to be alive anymore. But he's
he's young too. He's in his mid-30s.
But he's so funny about it. Like, it's Eastern European, it's post-communism humor.
Yes,
is so funny. Is so, because like those people have been through the fucking ringer.
Yeah.
So like now
all you can do is laugh, man. That's all you can do.
That's why when changes are, again, back to the changes, but really, what can you do? Right?
You can't.
It's going to happen. Just fucking roll with the punches.
Thank you very much, Jesse. This has been amazing. So let's get these 12 questions out of the way here. I know you've answered them before, but we'll get them to answer it again.
Yeah.
Ready for this?
No.
Favorite construction word?
Fuck.
Again.
But it's not even a construction word anymore.
No, because it's a verb, right?
Everybody uses it.
Everything.
Yeah. Or like I said it last time, donkey. I love calling things donkey.
I love donkey. That's great. But now you're going to use Spencer?
Now it might be Spencer.
Least favorite construction word?
A little bit more. Like when.
How about increments, man?
No, when I'm leveling walls and guys are going little out, I want to know how out. Am I pushing a quarter? Am I pushing an eighth? Are we an inch out? Did we fuck up? Like what's wrong?
What turns you on in construction?
Lasers that work.
What turns you off in construction?
Lasers that don't work.
What's your favorite curse word or phrase?
Favorite curse word phrase? It's got to be the F word.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Favorite car? Favorite vehicle?
Favorite vehicle? Can I include construction equipment in this?
Of course you can.
Yeah, because right now I think I'm going to buy a roto, one of the rotating telehandlers.
Oh.
A used one. I'm not going to go drop $250,000 on something. I don't have $250,000, but I want a roto or 80 feet of reach, like rotates, like the things we could do with that as the houses get bigger and the lots get tighter.
Easier for you.
I think it's
back to efficiency and production, man. It's all it's about when it comes to framing.
Yeah.
Least favorite vehicle?
Can we go like the 350Z? My least favorite vehicle is the one that isn't suited for your needs. The one that doesn't get the job done. That's I think a fair answer.
Construction sound or noise do you love?
Do I love? cashing checks, the cha-ching that goes off in my head.
Cha-ching. They still do that, eh? Cha-ching.
No, I gotta change that one.
What is that from? That's from the cash register.
Yeah, it's from the cash register.
Yeah.
No, honestly, like
You're too young for
There's none
cash
of that,
register.
man.
the best sound in construction is when sites are just moving and it's all the white noise of construction.
Mm-hmm.
That is nice. Like there's days
Fuck you!
The occasional out of nowhere. Who said that?
Yeah, there's days where the radio doesn't even come out. And like,
Really?
it's just the white. Yeah.
Oh, that is okay. That is one of my pet
Yeah.
peeves, man.
See,
You
I
don't like radios on site?
Not when, I
Depends
don't
on the
mind
music,
if it's
eh?
down. But
Just as
if
background.
Just have background.
Yeah, no, like I don't usually like we have a radio. Obviously, I don't bring it out. If the guys
But
don't
bring the
bring it
radio
out,
out
it
and,
never
and then,
comes out.
and then put on the Construction Life podcast and just leave it on the background.
But then
That's all.
no one would work. We'd be all so keen on what you had
And
to
don't
say.
bring pets to your site.
Who's bringing pets to sites?
No, job site dogs are a thing. Yeah, I don't. Again, it
Is
goes back
this
to professionalism.
that, what's that thing called? Anxiety? What's that?
Anxiety dog.
No, the pets that are allowed on planes now. What is
Right?
that?
Yeah, no, but it's for
Yeah,
anxiety.
therapy.
Right?
dogs.
Therapy.
Is that what this is
yeah.
all about? Really?
No,
No, just some
bring their
guys
dogs.
just like their. I don't know. For me, it's a professionalism thing. I'm not a fan of it.
But a dog
If-
can get hurt. Something can happen. Someone could
there
be
was,
carrying something.
There was a brickie, or not? Yeah, a brickie on a site. 3 years ago now. We had the tarp over the stair hole, right, to keep the heat in the basement. We were working on the second floor, so it was on the first. It was like 9 feet to the basement. Dog doesn't know what that tarp's for. Jumped right on it into the basement. Dog was fine, but like, what if that was a second floor?
Yeah.
Or like, it's just.
Dog would probably still be fine.
Why
Wouldn't come to the site anymore.
why
Stay away from tarps.
Yeah, why add that extra layer of just another thing to worry about? I don't want to be backing up my forklift going, fuck, where's the dog? Like,
Right? No, I
Right?
think it's
Like,
a
It's a safety thing
man.
because we
Yeah.
don't know where the animal's going to be, man.
no, of course. But hey,
And if
you're
you're
a
on
guy
the
that
roof
does
doing
it-
work and you're worried about your dog, like where it is,
Then now you're not focused.
No.
And then you could probably fall. So
but if the builders you work for, whoever's fine with, I'll just on that one, I'll say just you do you. Like who cares?
I've never had that. I don't know. I haven't had bring your dog to work day. I don't know. I like dogs, but sound or noise do you hate?
Sound or noise do I hate? It's always gonna be when I hear Jesse, come here. And
What?
I just sigh and put my head down.
Because
and
you know
walk.
something's coming up.
Something's coming up.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Lobster fisherman.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
East Coast family.
And what profession would you not like to do?
Project management. running like
The job, the whole job?
I'd like to run my own jobs. I'm talking like
But the industry in general?
the guys who are doing like 3-4 houses at a time. The fact that you can wrap
It's
your
just stress, man.
like imagine like I'm sure you've experienced this. One house is at finished stages. One house is still framing stages. To turn your brain back and forth from those two completely different aspects.
Do you like
of
that, Jim?
construction, I
Yeah, you
couldn't-
like that, eh?
I couldn't do it.
Just
It
juggling.
makes the day go.
It makes it move.
Yeah.
I mean, Christ, when we were going last year, we had 9 going,
Oh, wow, eh?
plus our little bit of commercial stuff we're doing.
Wow.
It's busy.
Yeah, but you're not alone in this, right? You're
Team.
Right. That's
Partner.
right, yeah.
right there. I know guys who do that, and it's just them. Like that,
I don't know if I could.
That's a hustle. Clients.
Oh, no,
call me.
it's
Yeah.
hard. Like when I was on my own, I did 8 or 13 jobs that time. It just about killed me.
It drains you.
Wait a minute. You're talking about the show.
When I did, Builder Boss thing, we had
You
had
got 13?
13 projects.
Oh, that was insane,
Yeah,
man.
see, that's-
totally insane.
Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
We got a mansion going up. I'm gonna frame it.
You got the contract.
Yeah, you got the contract.
You can frame it, man.
Yeah.
The Italians are doing the tile.
Yeah.
Jesse, thank you so much. So catch Jesse on IG, Barbosa Carpentry.
Yes, sir.
Catch Jim at Jim Carrick on IG and Carrick Hall Construction, I think it is, on
Yeah.
IG. Catch me at Hardcore Renos. And once again, everybody, just send us some questions. You guys have any questions? We want to start compiling questions so then
Yeah.
Jim and I can answer
Yeah.
them on video and start creating more content out there for everybody. And we possibly will come to your job site to answer the questions. That's what we're planning on doing. And stay tuned because we are working on the roundtable. That's going to happen.
It's going to happen, but with COVID, we have to figure out
play
logistics on it.
safe. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
But it's going to happen. And then by all means, please keep on sending DMs. And we love that the listenership is growing and
no,
outside
it's
of Canada,
awesome.
US
Yeah.
and the UK and everybody. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And don't worry if you ever think it's a stupid question, because it's not.
Ask.
No
Ask.
such
ask.
thing as stupid questions.
No.
No.
And
Better-
one of us will get back to you. Somebody will get
Yeah.
back to you for sure.
Asking stupid questions leads to avoiding big mistakes.
There we
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah,
That's
Jesus.
it, man.
And if anyone has
You
framing
sure?
questions,
I
you
just
can
moved you up
always
to
reach out to
55
me.
years old.
You're like Freedom 55 now, man.
Yeah.
You're going to be retiring
I-
soon.
At 55, I fucking hope I'm on a fishing boat.
Getting the lobsters, man. Jesse,
Yeah.
thank you so much. All right, so we'll catch everybody next week. Thanks, guys.
See you,
Out of
man.
here.
Have a good one.